What is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into another podcast of Mikasa Sukasen. I am, as always, your humble host, Niko House. And I did want to go ahead and thank you all for, being so patient. As you know, or if you follow my YouTube page, which I hope most of you do, it's been a busy couple of weeks. We did finally get JustNForm launched, so that's pretty much where 99% of my concentration has been at, between JustNForm and the network. And so it's been hard to keep up with the podcast, but we're going to keep putting them out as much as we can daily, and try to get back on it. We even have, as you heard on our last podcast, some special guests come through and wow us with some of their knowledge and research. And so it's been a great 2018 for the network thus far, and I am just excited to continue to see us grow. So I hope you'll stick around and grow with us. Today, I did want to talk about something that has been bothering the hell out of me. I don't know if y'all know this, but there are people who think that Wikileaks is co-opted. They think that Julian Assange is co-opted. And it seems to me that their logic in this particular case is centered around the idea that Julian Assange doesn't have access to Wikileaks, and therefore no one else can get a Twitter password and tweet things. No one else. You heard it, people. Because Julian Assange, who is capable enough to create an entire publication dedicated to collecting research and information from all over the world and disseminate it, even when he's locked up from an embassy, is apparently not intelligent enough to give someone his password on Twitter just in case something happens to him. It seems to, especially whenever you know something may happen to you. It's not just that it might happen. It's the fact that you know that there is, unfortunately, a high likelihood something could happen to you just by way of the type of work that you do. So, but there's this idea that people believe it's co-opted. It's a silly idea. The people who know Julian Assange have already come out and refuted this over and over and over again, whether it be Susie Dawson, whether it be Elizabeth Lee Voss, whether it be Kim.com. Everybody has come out and like, no, where are y'all getting this from? And some of these people are saying it's because of this guy named QAnon, or apparently QAnon may be more than one person. I don't know, but QAnon is not correct. QAnon can be full of it at times. QAnon, in my humble opinion, is a psyop. I want to be very clear about that. I'm not saying that it's not a government insider. Actually, I'm saying the total opposite. I think it is a government insider. I think they do know sometimes what is going on within the government. However, that does not necessarily mean that he is this omniscient, future teller who can, predict outcomes and control narratives. That's not him. That's not what QAnon is. In fact, that's what he wants you to think he is. I can agree with that, but that's not who he is. I want to be very clear about that. Now, to delve deeper into this, there was something that came up yesterday that forced people to question once again whether WikiLeaks has been co-opted. So as you all know, we've been dealing with this immigration issue. This immigration issue concerning people being separated from their parents, which has caused a lot of people, including myself, to say, why is ICE still here? I've never been a fan of ICE. I've said this for quite some time. I think that ICE is a totally flawed organization. Like I said, I don't think I said it on here, but in Georgia, you know who ICE is? ICE isn't this separate entity, totally just, existing within itself, having its own chain of command, and belonging to the federal government. ICE is the local police department in a lot of places. The same police departments in Georgia that are right now under investigation for corruption. The same police departments that are right now under investigation for overassessment of fees because they're broke, and which means when you're broke, you're more likely to target certain people who can't defend themselves to receive that federal funding. So let's be once again very clear, people. I have never been for ICE. I actually think it's federal overreach. If you don't have ICE patrolling the Canadian borders, for example, which they don't, not really, why do you have them patrolling Mexico? Well, the answer is pretty simple. We're not destroying we're not destroying Canada's economy. We're not destabilizing Canada. We're destabilizing Mexico. We're destroying their economy. We're flooding their countries with cartel money to fund drug wars. It's pretty simple. It's really that simple. That's why we have ICE down there to protect. We are protecting ourselves from problems that we're not. We're supposedly protecting ourselves from problems caused from us. But WikiLeaks wrote a tweet. It said, release. ICE Patrol is a searchable archive of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, positions voluntarily released to the public by each staff member. It is useful for journalists to develop sources inside ICE and to understand its structure. Now, some MAGA people have taken this as a doxing experiment. Like WikiLeaks decided to go out and dox a bunch of people who voluntarily released to the public by each staff information regarding themselves. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. People, I truly believe that this is representative of a much larger issue within the movement for truth than what people are willing to admit. Although they claim to be nonpartisan, have you ever thought that maybe you consider this what is it, a co-opted message because you thought that Julian Assange was for Trump? You thought that the information given to the public was only going to benefit the Republicans and hurt the Democrats? Oh, no. If you think that this is representative of anything other than what WikiLeaks has always stood for, which is the transparency of the federal government from any and all countries, any and all parties, especially when it comes to the protection of that information being necessary to be known for people to be autonomous in their decision making by having all of the information available to them. You do not know WikiLeaks. You don't know them. Or you do know them, but you're purposely ignoring what they've always done. Like I say all the time, Democrats used to love WikiLeaks. They loved Assange. They championed him. They called him a hero for what he revealed about George Bush and Dick Cheney and the Republican Party in general. They called him a hero. And yet, hell, even Obama released, not vacated her. Did he vacate her sentence? Yeah, I think he vacated her sentence. Could be wrong, but essentially she's not in jail anymore, and it's because of Obama. And like I said, this is the same Obama that had no problem whatsoever vacating a sentence of somebody who worked with WikiLeaks, but yet they're claiming Julian Assange works for Russia. And that's because WikiLeaks exposed the Republicans once upon a time, just as he exposed the Democrats this time. So y'all, did you think that WikiLeaks was going to act as a mercenary hacker group for Donald Trump and the Republicans? No. And there are people saying, well, Trump is working to get Julian Assange pardoned, and so he should know. That is antithetical to what WikiLeaks and Julian Assange stands for. Period. What do you all not get about this? He is not, and WikiLeaks is not going to compromise its integrity for the personal interests of one human being, even if that human being is indeed Julian Assange. And in my humble opinion, I think that it is absolutely ludicrous to think that Julian Assange could not be pardoned right now if Trump wanted to. He could be pardoned of whatever charges that he didn't get, by the way. No charges. We still don't know what the charges are yet. Trump could end this all tomorrow. You thought that there's a problem with ICE. There's an immigration issue in this country that's perpetuated by actions that we take in other countries. You think WikiLeaks is naive to this? Do you really think that they're not paying attention? What do you think WikiLeaks is? It is not some mercenary data leaking group that benefits Trump. WikiLeaks is what it has always been. Objective. Sorry, I don't know what you want me to tell you. But once again, obviously in our country, in the United States, WikiLeaks has gained a huge following on the right because they view WikiLeaks as the protector of Trump. But Julian Assange already made it very clear, if he could get Trump's information while he was in the federal government, then he would release it. He even tried to get his taxes, but they wouldn't give it to him. They even offered money to get his taxes so they could release them. People forget about this because it's convenient. But you all know how I feel about the partisan politics. You all know how I feel about accountability. Pretending like immigration is not an issue in this country is just silly, naive, and it's you're being purposely, either you're being accidentally misled or you're being purposely ignorant, because it is one. It isn't one that started with Trump. Clinton, Bush, Obama, all of them have had their individual hands in getting us into this position that we are in right now. However, Trump could stop it. So saying, oh yeah, but this started with Obama. Okay, but it could finish with Trump right now. But has it? No. Not to mention, ICE was started by Bush in 2002. Obama didn't end it. That's problematic. Trump is continuing it. So deflecting and trying to call these things, this is happening. Families are being separated. Why do you think the Dreamers Act was passed to begin with, people? Seriously. Because they didn't want families separated. That was one of the things. That was one of the reasons. But, or at least it gave it gave the image, the optics appeared as if, okay, well, Obama is doing well to keep families together. But that wasn't the case. Now, I will admit, I'll be willing to concede that it is getting a lot more attention right now. And I will even be willing to concede that it is even possibly a distraction from what is happening with this OIG report. I will even concede that. Not for me, because if you follow my YouTube channel, you do know that I've been covering the OIG report extensively. But I do believe that we can cover both at once and clear some things up. Because the idea that Wikileaks is co-opted simply because they wish to hold all parties accountable is just laughable. It's not Wikileaks' job to defend your president. It's Wikileaks' job to present objective, fact-based info from primary sources so that we can make educated decisions on how we feel about our president or our parties or the things that either of them do here or abroad. Stop with the rumors. Sorry. Sometimes WikiLeaks is going to do what your party likes. Sometimes they're not going to do it with what your president likes. But hey, that is how I know personally that I can trust somebody that will do what they can to do the right thing 99% of the time. And that's perfectly fine with me. It's perfectly fine with me. So, thank you all so much for tuning into this podcast of Mikasa and Sukasa. Follow us on JustNForm.com. Okay? Register there. Join us in the social media evolution that we have started. And if you have not, go to mcscnetwork.com. Catch up on more stories, breaking news, and all that good stuff. And hey, more than anything else, as usual, people, always remember, find your balance. Peace.